What I wanted to do today is talk a lot about where social media fits in to your life, to your business, and kind of how to think about it. Because I think first and foremost, if you begin to understand how to think of it, then it becomes more clear how to use it. I'll just kind of dial back 20 years and tell you that in roughly 1990 or 91, I created a little company called Virtual Media. And it was just at the beginning of the internet craze, and I generally thought that eventually websites would start to replace traditional media. Why? It would give you the opportunity to broadcast your message if you wanted, or narrowcast your message as the case may be, in terms of video, audio, print. Okay, so I started to think of, well, if we start to create websites that did what traditional media did, that there would be an audience for that. And in fact that is, but there is that, and everyone has a website now. But I think the social media stuff gets really, really powerful. And I think it's because people can find exactly what they want, the content that they want, follow that content, and screen out content very easily. It's often pushed to them or to you. Drew was sitting here a few minutes ago. Drew and I worked together, and he was checking up on his Facebook friends, and people were updating things that they were doing today on Twitter, and he was getting that information pushed to him. Some of it, I'm sure, was very social in context. Other may be, you know, what a business is doing today and a special offer they have for a lunch. So I'll get into that as we go on. But that I think should set up a little bit what we'll be talking about. I'm going to give you a number of examples. This is really not an education on who Craig is, but I'll do this to kind of set it up. Here's how I can begin to break down my life and my career, and I think you'll see how we can build this back up into a social media presence. Some of you know that I grew up in the Bronx, come from New York. I went to the University of Michigan. I met my wife in Florence, Italy. I live in St. Louis. And interestingly enough, I have friends and colleagues on every social network that relate to these experiences. Okay. So in other words, I have about 30 friends on Facebook, some of whom I'm now doing business with, that I went to grade school with at PS95. And I don't know how, Drew, you got that, but that is PS95 in the Bronx. Okay. Professionally, I started as the publicist for the Italian government. I worked at Fleishman Hillard, Weber Shandwick, Influence, and Twist. Some of you may know me through all of these experiences, some of you just a couple. But again, I have relationships with clients and colleagues, employees at all of these. Okay, so that's another way I've built my network, and I'll be talking about my network a lot as I relate it to what your network is like. These are my social networks that I belong to. I have a very strong presence on these sites, these functions, these different networks. Can everyone see them, I hope? You know, but these aren't all. I'll show you more of which ones I think are relevant, but I have a presence on all of these. And interestingly enough, people from PS95, people I met in Italy, people I worked with while at Compaq, people that I worked with at Microsoft, all find me pretty easily through these networks. Frighteningly enough, just a month or two ago, my girlfriend, when I was in college, contacted me and called me on the phone. Now, interestingly enough, Many years ago, before Google and before social networks, I tried to reach her just to say, how you doing? Since John is in the front row and she's very good friends with my wife, I'll just tell you that I just wanted to say hello. And it's really tough finding someone with a relatively generic name. Can't really find them. But in the social media world, you could type in a number of names across a number of social media. Poof, I found her. She found me. And interestingly enough, it's becoming pretty easy to find people. Now, I will tell you at work, if I said to someone, we really should contact Purina for a new opportunity that we want to pitch them on, and one of our staff says, well, I don't know anyone, I give them the look now, where I say, well, all you need to do is go to LinkedIn, type in brand management, and 200 brand managers at Purina pop up, and go friend them, go find who knows them, ask for an introduction, and let's get a meeting. So social media is often replacing, I find, the need to have, you don't really need to go anymore to find a friend and say, hey, will you introduce me, who knows them? It can happen very quickly. You could still do it through a friend. You may need that friend to open the door, but you could, in minutes, find who all these people are, get to them quickly. Many people have very transparent profiles, their name, their email, their phone number, easy access. Some hide, but most are very transparent. So this is my network. Just to give you a sense of, this is a mapping software that took all of my friends on Twitter and showed all of their names are around the outside. And it kind of shows how they all know each other. Okay, so this isn't really a scientific discussion, but it does begin to show you that just one group, okay, of my friends, and I say friends, I don't mean, you know, just friends who are people I go out with on Saturday night. I'm talking about business friends, largely. This is how they know each other. So it becomes very clear that the way I used to think about my world, I knew one person, they knew me, and that's, yeah, they maybe knew someone else and someone else, but I didn't really think too much about it. It's very clear that there's something going on here, that they know each other very well. And information spreads through that network, through that web. I mean, that looks like a network you'd expect, you know, a telephone company to put up on a wall. And this is just a few hundred people. So it begins to get very, very interesting. This is Facebook. I have, I think as of last night, 1,145 friends. They're not all true friends, but people that I've met and know and who are in my network. This is just 600 because the software that allowed us to make this picture would only do 600. Okay, again, you could see how they all know each other and how they know me. And here's the really interesting way that I'm starting to look at my network. I have a database of 1,200 people. Facebook, 1,145, LinkedIn, 540. But look at this number right here. Of these 540 people, their friends equal 57,000. So if I get to my friends with something interesting that they care about, and they pass it on, they can get to 57,000 people. If these friends pass it on, it's close to 4 million people. So I want to think, you know, I used to, and the reason I talked a little bit about my past is that I've always been a publicist, right? So I would want to get my clients on a morning show, and a morning show would have 50,000, you know, people watching, okay? So in the world that we live in now, you know, and people would pay a lot of money to get on the morning show, and we still want to get people on the morning show. That's not to say it's irrelevant. But if I can get to 57,000 people using one network, why would I spend as much time or care so much about mass media? This is becoming mass media. Through a powerful network that you can develop, you can reach business colleagues, friends of friends, and really ask them to do something in a much easier way than just going on a morning show, for example, and presenting your idea. Those are total strangers. These people are your contacts and friends of your contacts. And this number gets extremely, extremely exciting.